toast burn on purpose. I like the sound a butter knife makes when scraping off the burn. Before I've taken my first bite of breakfast, I like throwing some away. When I write, I assume a mask. The mask is named Lilith. Lilith is a Garibald girl. She parts her hair down the middle. She never listens to her voicemails. The only floral she wears is gold. She won't be caught dead in polka dot, unless the dot is red. True or false? Smelling burnt toast where there is none could be a sign of stroke. A confession. I cheated on my driver's test. Evidence. Front and back bumper has come off my Mini Cooper. Paint on the passenger side of the door scraped off. Crashed my car and my mother's car at the same time. I reversed into hers 15 miles an hour. We were in a fight at the time. Lots of post-its left on car windows of strangers. Apologies, my phone number, insurance numbers. Once the snow melted and I realized I'd parked on the sidewalk itself. Lilith doesn't drive. She lives exclusively in cities where she can lift her right hand and say, "Taxi." Like magic, the taxi comes. If it's a day she's reading a particularly good book, or feeling queasy and prone to car sickness, usually the first day of every new month, Lilith won't call this anxiety about the passage of time, but we all know what it is. Then she'll take the underground. Once she missed her stop 3 times in a row. Rode to Holborn, back to Bond Street, then too far to Oxford Circus, and finally to Tottenham Court Road. The book was that good. Another confession. I don't read books. Only compulsively buy them in hardcover, let them pile up guiltily by my bedside table until one day I give up. Take my stack to the shelf to organize them by theme. Food writing, writer's diaries, the Troubles, witches, etc., the incomplete works of Susan Sontag, until the next dinner party when someone stares up at it with a glass of champagne and says, "Oh gosh, yes, the diaries of Sontag," and I nod. I'm a magazine junkie. I wish I lived next to a newsstand. No, I wish I owned one. On days when I don't know what to do or don't have a meeting for hours, I walk the 13 minutes to the closest newsagents. Ali, behind the counter, knew I'd left my boyfriend before my closest friends did. "I'm in the mood for poems," I'll say. Or, "Carpets. Do you have anything on carpets?" "Here," Ali says, "the latest honey." A perfect day, really, is the very day I have in abundance, with monotonous frequency. Lilith does not have mundane days. Alone with herself, doing household chores, she often plays games aloud. For example, talk show during sweater folding. Moss green sweater held up. Lilith says aloud in her American TV voice, "Many people wonder if they should fold or hang their sweaters. If you're wondering which way to go, ask yourself, how much did I pay for this sweater? How often do I wear it?" But my mundane days go dreamily like this. "Morning, Ali." "Morning." Then I'm off. Flipping glossy pages, profiles in the Gentlewoman, turning to the classifieds of the New York Review of Books, apartments for rent on the Riviera. A woman, 60, well-read, looking to see if love might arise in Act 3, and sometimes even, why not, the National Geographic. Arctic foxes and their long tails. Seeing who's been photographed by who, which near unknown has risen straight to the cover of Vogue, after which latest Netflix binge show, and what jewellery is she wearing? The latest trend in bathroom renovations? The bathtub like a beached whale in the middle of the bedroom? Lilith doesn't bother with the latest magazines. Instead, she finds them, left out on doorsteps, being donated by the box. How did she get her hands on a twiggy cover? Or a magazine spread featuring Françoise Hardy, young, boyish, perfect. Lilith doesn't have a style icon. She is a style icon. But if pressed, she'd say, Françoise on her motorcycle. Bit of gossip. I knew a woman who knew a woman whose son went to the same school as Françoise Hardy's son. Apparently, she was a devoted school parent, never missed a parent-teacher meeting, was active in school board politics, voting passionately to keep hot lunches. Does it count as gossip if it's positive and utterly banal? If you trace the origins of the word gossip, you'll find yourself at the Old English word godsib, which was a term reserved for a woman's closest female friends. According to Silvia Federici, the word gossip changed from a term of affection and honouring a female friendship to its tarnished connotation during the 16th century, when witch hunts grew feverishly popular. Female friendships, said Federici, were one of the targets of the witch hunts. Another confession. I was kicked out of Stonehenge on a family trip when I was 14. We'd gathered my mother's siblings and cousins to celebrate my grandmother's brother's 85th. We knew he was nearly a goner, so we rallied, enjoying a sight of stones he never asked for. To say I was bored out of my mind while the university student on his summer job told us facts and described Stonehenge as the most architecturally sophisticated surviving stone circle in the world would be an understatement. I ran for it. I touched the smooth surface of the stone like it was someone else's birthday cake. The guards blew their whistles, they fast jogged towards me, 3 of them, and escorted me out, past my mother, and her siblings, and her cousins, and their stuffy children, and past my grandmother's brother in his wheelchair. He was the only one smiling. That night, for the first time, I dreamt of Lilith. It took me 20 years to Google the name.